Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to take the AMG side skirts off of a pre-facelift W210 E55. Now on this one, there are two 10mm bolts from the bottom and the front right here. There are 5 8mm screws along the bottom of the skirt and another 10mm bolt on the back corner. Let me get those out and then we'll continue. I had to go ahead and pop this mud flap, rock guard, whatever this is. The 5 8mm screws for that, because the 10mm stripped out, but it is held into that. So everything on the bottom is loose. Let's move up top. Up here, when you open the doors, you'll see this black strip right here. This is actually a very, very thin piece of plastic that's held on with adhesive. Goes from here all the way to almost the end, the very front of the skirt, all the way down. There are 9 screws underneath this strip that are holding this side skirt on. If you're patient, maybe you can get that strip off without breaking it, but I doubt it. It's almost 30-year-old plastic. So let me pop that off and we'll get to the screws. Wow, I got it off in one piece. Surprising. If we get in here close, you can see the screws, Phillips headed screws that hold this in. So let's get those out. And that's it. Side skirt is off. Alright, gonna prep the 420 to accept the E55 side skirts. We need to pull out the jacking point plugs, and there's some trim pieces at the bottom of the front fender and at the bottom of the quarter panel in the rear that we'll have to pop out before we get to inside. These trim pieces are just held in with clips. And honestly, if I break it, I really don't care because we're not going to use it again. On this car, instead of having the black adhesive strip, this is a black, it's plastic, but it's clipped in all the way to the front. So we just got to work the clips out. It's half of it. There's the other half. And as I figured, most of the pop-in clips broke, so can't reuse those. What we'll do on the E55, I'm going to try to pry these out, and if I do, without breaking them, they will magically fit right in the holes in the 420, and there's the same number of them for screws, so the side skirt should fit in without any problems. That went much better than expected. Yeah, so all the plastic screw keepers came out of this car just fine. They fit right in the holes. They lined up perfectly with the holes in this AMG side skirt. I just got it stuck up here for mock-up purposes, and it just clipped right in. I mean, like it was supposed to be here. Looking underneath, look, all the bolt holes line up with the plastic cover that's on the 420 from the factory. It's got these screws out here, but these screws closer to the outside of the car are exactly the same. So on the inner side, it has these little keepers. I'll just put some silicone in that, in the little hole right there, and call that good. So yeah, easy job. Neat. Time for the bumpers to come off. All right, let's get these bumpers off. Doesn't look like it's going to be too bad of a job. I took the cover off that runs along the front here, and look how dry this thing is. I don't know when, of course, the last time it was taken off and cleaned, but that seems extremely dry. Looking at the engine itself, let me get a light. Looks like maybe the front crank seal is seeping a little, possibly the oil pan gasket or the lower oil pan, maybe the oil filter housing. Man, this thing just looks like the 80,000 mile car that it is. All the way down, there's no rust issues, nothing. This is a nice clean car. All right, anyway, we're gonna get the bumpers off, starting with this front one. See, it's got a bolt right there. One on the other side. Get the fog lights disconnected, the external temperature sensor, and then we'll lower the car down to get the remaining 2 bolts for the bumper. All right, let's bring the car down and get those from the top. show you what bolts I'm talking about. If you look way down here, that one right there, can you see it? There's that nut. It's not a bolt, it's a nut. And then one on this side. Those should be the only two that we need left to get this thing off. You just take the out. And she's off. So here on the back bumper, we need to get spin stop here. Spin stops here. That's right, folks. I'm not going to BS you. I'm not Bill O'Reilly either, but whatever. No spare. Luckily the AMG has one. CD changer. Score. Need some hand sanitizer. That's probably the last time this car was really in use, when that was a big deal. Anyway, we need to get these little plugs out. All along here, there's one screw on this side. Looks like it's missing on this side. Yep. Then we get this cover out of the way, and it should expose the bolts, or at least one of the bolts we need to get to. Just one of those pins, the round pins that have the round keepers that have the little push pin in the middle. Same concept, except it's square. That was the jack. It was hooked on part of this plastic too. Alright, there's that piece. I'll just leave it in here. Let me show you the bolts I'm talking about. There's one, or the nuts. There's one right here behind this flap of carpet. There's one back up in here, which was under that plastic piece. And the third one right there behind this flap of carpet. So let me zip those off and we'll see if this thing will come off. Should be the same as the front. It should just slide right back very easily. Okay. On this plastic panel that I took off to get to the bumper bolts, technically you don't have to take it off. There is a hole right there that can get you to that center bolt that holds the bumper on. But to get the this carpet paneling off of the sides without tearing anything up or breaking clips, it makes it easier. You don't have to do it, but you know, it's an option. Yeah, starting to take shape. AMG bumper on the front, AMG wheels, AMG side skirts, and the AMG rear bumper. Yeah, we're getting there. Of course, my alternator and combination switch for the inside hasn't showed up yet. So in the meantime, we're going to keep our feet moving, start working on the rear deck lid, see if we can get that dent out of it and get everything ready where we can sand her down. Appreciate you guys. Catch you next week.